All right, so you've just loaded into Hellletloose for the first time and you want to know the best settings and the fastest way to get better. So I'm going to show you guys in this video as a new player what I used and what I've done to progress pretty quickly in this game. So first I'm going to show you guys, if you're on, this is only for PC. The settings is only for PC. I don't know if the same settings apply on consoles. I'm really not sure about that, but we'll just hop over to the video settings. If you have a 1440p monitor, please play on 1440p. This game is just, it's just so much more crisp and detailed, and you can actually see enemies all the way across the map, versus if you're on 1080p, it's very blurred out. It makes a big difference. Resolution scales on 100%. V-Sync's always off on every game you ever play. Texture quality medium. Shadow quality low. Anti-method. You can swap between clarity and community, but I found that clarity is just a little bit like crispier. It's a little easier to see, but it really doesn't make that big of a difference, if that makes sense. And then anti-quality is medium, FX quality low, view distance epic. You always want that on epic. A lot of times you get in gunfights where enemies are 150, 200 yards away and you can barely see them, so you definitely want that on epic. Foliage quality medium, post-process quality medium, SSAO, I don't even know what that is, but it's off. Motion blur's off. Aspect ratio, maintain X-axis, FOV. Gameplay, this is all up to you, really, with your personal preferences, but I would highly recommend your FOV being lower than 100. Because like I said, a lot of the gunfights you're going to get into is going to be at the 100-yard, 150-yard radius, and it's easier to see them with your FOVs on lower than 100. 80's probably better. I just like 90. Now, keybinds, that's obviously up to you too. Whatever works for you. Yeah, you have the comms, infantry. The only thing that I changed when I got on here is my lean left. I put it on left alt, and then my lean right is my thumb mouse 4 button. That way I can still like strafe and move while I'm aiming at the same time. Because usually it's Q and E. First thing I would do is hop into practice range. And any of these factions, it don't really matter. But 9 out of 10 times, you're either going to play United States or Germany. So you can just pick between. I'm just going to pick Germany for now. Now when you load in, if you look at the left right here where it says infantry, armor, and recon, you just want to join one infantry. And I'd recommend just picking the automatic rifleman at first, just to get the feel of the aiming and the shooting and everything. Here's the map, and here's what's important too. All these are garrison spawns. In your squad, or any officer in any squad in the game can put these main garrisons down. That way the whole team can spawn on them. Officers also hold an outpost spawn, but when they put it down, only your squad can spawn on that outpost, but garrisons, your whole team can spawn on that. Then also you have a half track spawn, which is a truck that you spawn on that you actually can move around the map and spawn in different areas of the map. Now we're at the range. I'll explain the movement, aiming, and stuff like that. This isn't a Call of Duty. It's not even close to Call of Duty. It's not even close to a Battlefield game. This is its own game. You move slow. You run slow. It's a very slow paced game. Also, with the aim is not that quick. So you really just want to get in this practice range. You just kind of just want to, without shooting, you kind of just want to run and just aim at all the targets. Get a feel of how slow or how fast it takes for you to lock on targets. Kind of just zigzag back and forth. And then also too, if you want to hug this little stone wall right here and you just crouch. You crouch and then peek and aim. Usually do that a lot in this game as well. Just get used to the movement and the feel and how quick and slow everything responds. Now, the next thing I did when I first started playing this game is after I got all the movement and the aiming and stuff down, after I changed my keybinds to where I could lean and aim at the same time, I would just do the same thing in the practice range that I explained before, but with a leaning. So you just run, you just lean. Just get used to the leaning. Just get used to the mechanic of the movement and the aiming. And also you could crouch and pick against the edge of the stone wall here on both sides, because you'll do that a lot in fights. Now, after you've got pretty comfortable and mastered all this at this distance and you got the mechanics down and all that, I would highly recommend just coming back here just a little bit, just a little further distance away and just doing the same thing. Just running, aiming at all the different targets, crouching, getting the feel down at a further distance. Got a different angle. Come over here and just lean it out. You could even run over here and there's targets over there. If you are on PC, and I'm pretty sure console has this too, but you could steady your aim and also, it's like a focus aim. Mine is shift. It should be shift on all keyboards, but you just hold it and it aims in. Zooms in forward just a little bit. This gives you a little extra 20 yards of viewing distance there. So you could also play around with that too, you know, doing the peak. But that's all I would do right now is just get the movement down, get the peaks down, get the steady. Without even firing a bullet. I wouldn't even fire a bullet yet. Now that you got your movement mastered and you feel good about your movement, now I like to come right here. Right here you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 dummies that you can shoot at this spot right here. And what I would do is make these dummies as hard to hit as you possibly can so you can get the movement and stuff mastered. Started out with shooting the back ones first, the further ones away first. But you just want to, like you're going to be in a gunfight. So a lot of times, like say that's a real enemy tank there and you got the infantry up front, you're going to want to be crouching at this stone wall, kind of peeking every once in a while until you think that you see somebody running. So you can see his legs through that. That's what you want to do. Over here, you just aim, peek with it. There he is. Oh, there's more. You can aim. Sure that you master the mechanics of the movement. That way, when you get in real gunfights, it's easier to shoot. Let's say you run out of this house. You already know that some of your teammates have died right here to the right, so you know there's going to be infantry there. So instead of running out and just aiming like this with your head fully exposed, you can crouch, you can do this and then raise up and shoot them. Now another thing I have to mention is when you're hiding behind a wall on the left side and you lean out, the actual enemy POV can't see your head. You can see them, like if they're standing like right here, you can see them, but they can't see you. Now when you go to the right side and you peek out, they can see you peeking out. So that's something to write down when you're in game too. I always peek around the left side, left angle walls. That way it gives me just an extra second of aiming before they can see me. Now after you've mastered your aiming, your shooting, your peeking and all that, now you can just kind of just do what you want to do. Just have fun, just shoot. Put yourself in different situations. Try to headshot everything. Headshot with every gun on this game is one shot. I think the STG might be 2 shot in the body. I can't remember exactly. MP40 I think is 3 shot to the body, but everything is 1 shot to the head. Got to master that and you're pretty comfortable. Now we're going to talk about grenades. The grenades are kind of tricky on this game, especially starting out because you're thinking about, you know, if you played Call of Duty, Battlefield, all that. These are just, they work just a little different in this game. But is this dude laughing at me? I like to use when you prime the grenade, your left hand is going to pop up with a grenade. And I like to kind of aim it with my left thumb. So aim it a little down right there. Boom. It's just easier to use your thumb as kind of like a crosshair in a way. As long as you got it where you want to throw it straight, then you can start messing around with the different highs and lows. Also too, to make this a lot easier, instead of having to redeploy, there's actually a truck over here that drops ammo. I would definitely, especially starting out, I would definitely spend a good, you know, 3, 4, 5 hours in this practice range, really getting everything down. You could even get in these trucks and stuff like that, because these trucks and stuff are kind of weird to drive at first. They're kind of weird. I'm gonna drop ammo right now out of it. Now when you run out of grenades, you just go get the ammo. Alright, so you just want to keep just practicing throwing it, using the left thumb as kind of a crosshair. And that's it. Boom. And also, if anyone played CSGO or games like that, there's actually an underhand throw on this as well. Just right click it. Same type of setup, except it just flobs it. Boom. We'll talk about all the different roles. That role is used as automatic rifleman. It's just a good starter role because you have an automatic. You have the STG. On, let's see, the USA, you get the bar, which is pretty good. And the Allies, you get the PPSH. And the standard Russian team, you get the PPSH as well, and automatic rifleman. We'll talk about officer. So the officer is is the leader of your squad. It's who will be putting down the garrisons, who will be doing the marks, who will be relaying the information from the main commander to his squad mates if you're in a good lobby. You start out with the MP40, which is pretty good, but you start unlocking, you know, better stuff the higher up. And I know I'm a low level, but I started playing on Xbox Game Pass and then went to Steam. Spawn in with the officer real quick. It don't matter where you spawn. Here you have the standard MP40, pistol, grenades, and a smoke. Officers come with smoke grenades, and that is very important if you're playing. If you're either trying to attack or defend an objective, pushing up or pulling back, smokes are very important. They also come with binoculars, of course, and you can see, you know, this is where an officer would spot enemies. He can even pull down the marker, and it shows all the officers where. We'll talk about the most important part of an officer. We have the watch. That's how you spawn the outpost spawns and the garrisons. Now remember, the outpost spawn, only your squad mates in your squad can spawn on this. Garrisons, your whole team. The entire team can spawn on this. So say you just want to get a quick vantage point for you and your team are trying to make a flank, or you're trying to do whatever, and you're in the enemy territory, or you're just trying to get a little closer. This is where the outpost spawns come in to play. Now, some buildings, some of these houses you can actually place them into. Some of them are weird, like look, you can spawn it here, spawn there. Some of them are weird where you can't. Some of them you can spawn them upstairs. Some of them you can't. Very important to find houses. There's certain houses that I'll have to put in a separate video where you can place outpost spawns into. But you want to remember. Now we'll talk about map knowledge here in a second. But you want to remember, if the enemy is coming from, we'll just say what, north side of the map, you know they're coming from over here, but your flag is over here that you're trying to defend. But you want to get a good like little vantage point off to the side. You don't ever want to put your outpost. You don't ever want to spawn it out in the open where everyone can just see it. You always want to kind of hide them. You can hide them behind these houses. You can hide them, you know, if you get up here, you know, one of these bushes, you can hide them in one of the bushes. Just never want to spawn them in plain view. Now, same thing goes for the garrisons, except they're a little bit different because you can't put them in houses or whatever else. But garrisons, say if this square right here was the flag, and you're attacking that flag, you don't want to go all the way up with the garrison and spawn that garrison directly on it and find a good like this garrison right here. This is a garrison right here. You want to spawn it kind of right here where it's pretty close. So when if you know your whole team dies, you die, whatever, you can come back pretty quick and be back in the action because you're trying to take this objective. Now it's to note too that if one of your other squad mates, or if you have already done it, if you spawned a garrison, there's a certain radius in that garrison that you can't spawn another garrison. And also to note, I almost forgot about this, build the outpost so you don't have to have any supplies. You can build it as many times as you want without supplies. There is a countdown, like a minute and a half, I think, before you can spawn another outpost after you spawn the first one. Now, garrisons, they take 100 supplies in the blue zone. We'll get to that in a little bit. Or maybe it's 50 supplies in the blue zone and 100 supplies in the enemy territory red zone. Now, the only way you can get supplies is there is a supply truck right here that you can spawn in. Your commander has to spawn these in. Usually the commander, if you have a good commander on your team, this is what they do. They get in these supply trucks and go around and go ahead and spawn garrisons around where they need to be spawned for the objectives. So you never, I don't think I've ever had to worry about taking a supply truck and spawning garrisons. But you know, just for the video, I ain't gonna drive. You just drop supplies. Boom, supplies are in the back. You don't have to pick them up. You don't have to do anything. I think it's within like 150 meter or maybe 50 yards, whatever it is. It stays in the vicinity of where the supplies are at. Like I said, it says 150 supplies. So it stays in like a general area to where you could, you know, you can run out here and still be able to use the supplies for the outpost. Another way to get supplies is actually running a support or getting someone in your squad to run support. They spawn with 50 supplies. There's 50 supplies. Get your support to put them in a spot that you're wanting to put a garrison in, and it helps you put a garrison down. Now, we'll talk about these other ones. Well, a machine gunner is just a machine gunner. You just got to understand how to play as a machine gunner. I haven't played with it much, but it's pretty much, you know, either on the front lines, just putting down suppressive fire, or he's kind of sitting in the back, just always putting suppressive fire. Anti-tanks, obviously for tanks and killing tanks. Engineer, very important role. If you want to learn engineer, I haven't played with engineer much, but I know there's a very important role to drop nodes down for your team and for your commander to be able to spawn certain things faster for the play around with some of the roles. But to get started and get a good feel, just pick one role. You know, rifleman, assault, automatic rifleman, even medic. You even play as medic, just to get a good overall feel of the game before you get in and try to really master one of these. You get, you know, good at shooting, good at movement, good at understanding the map. Then that's when you can start playing like support for your officer or machine gunner or even engineer. So we're going to spawn into a game real quick, and I'm going to try to give you guys some good map knowledge from what I've learned so far. Okay, let's get spawned in here. Show a little bit of the map real quick. So these little, right here, this little 3 dots, that is your commander on the map. All these, like I said, these are the garrisons that you can spawn on. Here's the outpost. I think the enemy is actually spawning on this side is why they already have garrisons right here. We're on, I think this is offensive game mode. So the other team is trying to take all these points. They have to take this point first to unlock the next point for them to take that next point. So we're just gonna get in, we'll spawn on an outpost. It's crucial to know the map and know your map knowledge. So if you see where it says strong point, we have more players on the flag, but they also have players on there right now. You also always want to pay attention to that. You always want to pay attention to where your teammates are at too. You can see them up here. There's obviously infantry right there. That's where all of your teammates are stacked up. But what you could do also, pull up the map and kind of look, kind of get a feel. You know they're going to be lined up on this road. Some of them are going to be pushing up this way. Some will be pushing up that way. You just got to really pay attention. We're going to push left just a tad. Now, you don't ever want to get out of this point unless you're just getting pushed up. You want to kind of stay in this point. That way they don't get more bodies on it. The more bodies they get on it, that's how they start capping it. And it's not like domination or conquest, you know, from Call of Duty and Battlefield. Once they start taking it, you have to kill them off of it. You can't just stack bodies. I'm glad his aim wasn't that great. Well, like I said about peeking, that's why I told you to learn the mechanics and master them, because like I said, you're going to be in these fights like this where you're going to be peeking a lot. Because like I said, the time to kill in this game is very fast, so you don't want to peek nothing, because all it takes is one shot to the head and you're dead. So we got a teammate pushing up. Check the map real quick again. So we got one up to the left. We got a lot of people holding this right side of it right here. No, nobody really holding this, but we got an infantry mark right there. So they're obviously all in this little square right here. That was obviously some enemy teams that's just pushed, you know, maybe this way or maybe that way, whatever, trying to kind of flank. The majority of the people are going to be in this general square right here. Now, while he's putting suppressive fire down, I'm just going to push around to the left a little bit more. Make sure I'm staying inside of the circle here. And my teammate just died right over here, so there's an enemy over here somewhere. Oh, I see one right there. I think he saw me too. I hit him once, tagged him, so he'll have to bandage up, so that gives me a good time to push up just a little bit. Oh, there was one in that building beside me. I just want to pay attention. He was in this building right here. So when you spawn again, you know that this is probably going to have some enemies in it. They're going to push up after that. Now, to note, your garrisons, the outpost and the main garrisons, when there's enemies close to it, it will have a red, like a little exclamation point showing there's enemies. So it could be camping it. They could be sitting right on top of it. They could be, you know, at a distance looking at it, whatever. Or they might not even see it at all. They're just close to it. That's always something to note. That, you know, since here's my outpost here, but if it's, you know, if it's red with enemies around it, I don't want to chance it spawn there and die. I could just spawn here and take the extra, you know, 20, 30 seconds to push up and maybe kill those people off this outpost. Oh, there's the enemy near the outpost there. That's what I was talking about a second ago. And that's basically it on the gist of starting out on Hellletloose. Everything else, you're just going to have to get time in and learn, you know, when to spawn, where to spawn, what gun to use, how to use it, the angles to take, and all the rolls. And then that's pretty much it. You have to put the time in. They just destroyed our outpost right there, so I can't spawn on it. Well, that's going to be the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, drop a sub. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to be bringing more videos like this, informative videos. The more I learn about Hellletloose, the more I want to teach, because I think this is one of the best games ever made. I love this game. And if there's anything I can improve on, if there's anything that I left out on, please, you know, please make sure to drop it in the comments and let me know, and I'll add it to next video. Or even if I got something wrong, just let me know so I can fix it in the next video. Well, I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys later.